I don't cry when it rains no more, or I get dirt on my shoes. I don't mind climbing 8 more floors, 'cause these stairs are all heading to you.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am out here on the Lonestar Trail, parked at Trailhead 3. Gonna be going out here to a campsite that's just fairly close to the parking lot. So I'm gonna go out here and review a few pieces of new gear I just got, and hopefully I'll give you guys some good reviews, what I do's and what I don'ts like. And here we go.
Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. We don't need plans or a fancy agenda. Well, let's just see where it goes. We got no care for the way people stare at the dust and the dirt.
I've been hiking for a while, and I thought I would have seen the campsite by now, but no dice. I'm gonna keep rocking until I get there. So, it always seems longer when you're out here.
Where you stand.
All right, I came from this direction. Here's Little Lake Creek Loop Wilderness. On the map, I think I'm supposed to go this way to the campsite. I think this little doohickey right here, I believe, is a campsite notification thing, because I don't know, it's the closest thing to what looks like it's on the map, so wish me luck. All right, looks like I found it. So, let's turn this around here. Looks like this is home for tonight. Good little spot here. Little fire ring. Probably set up right here. All right, guys, well, I made it to camp, and I'm about to start setting up my tent. And this is actually a brand new tent to me. I actually just got the new Zpacks Duplex. I've been looking at it for a while. I wanted a trekking pole tent and something to reduce the weight of what I was carrying. I was carrying an REI Half Dome 2 Plus, so that way I could go hike with my kids and camp with my kids. But for me, I wanted to reduce the weight that I was carrying around, so I got the Zpacks Duplex, which I'm really excited about. It was made out of, or it used to be called Cuban fiber, but now it's made out of Dyneema. And it's my other tent was 5.6 pounds with the poles and all that good stuff. This one's only 19 ounces. I weighed it right before I left, so I'm really excited to set this one up. The other piece of equipment that I just got, and I've been wanting for a long time, is the Thermarest Neo Air. I've seen a lot of people on there on YouTube, you know, Darwin on the Trail, and a couple other people really, you know, rant and rave about this one. I got the long one just because I hate it whenever my feet, you know, fall off the edge of the pad. So anyway, here we go.
Snow melts away. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. We don't need plans or a fancy agenda. Well, let's just see.
Well, I'm inside the duplex right now, and one of the things I really do like about it is this bathtub floor. Nice and all around, pretty deep. So looking forward to that. Seems like everything's in its place and super easy to set up. So far, I'm liking it. One thing that I don't like is, and I guess this is what you get with ultralight tents, is I wish that they had pockets up here. Because in the Half Dome 2 Plus, they have a pocket here and then a pocket here on the other side of the ridge line. But they do have these little pockets here on the side, so I'll take it. So you can see here on the vestibule system, there's just this little clip keeping these two doors together, and there's another one right here on the outside keeping the doors together. But looks like there's plenty of room here on the vestibule. So, and I'm also thinking with how much, space is actually underneath there, hopefully I get a good enough breeze in here to do, to have enough ventilation so that way we don't get a bunch of condensation up here. All right, guys, now that we have the tent set up, I'm gonna go ahead and air up my Thermarest Neo Air and put it in the tent and see how many breaths it takes to blow it up. All right, guys, this is my Thermarest Neo Air. Comes in this little stuff sack right here. And I believe I weighed it last night whenever I was packing my pack, and I believe it's only about 19 ounces or so. I think it's like 1 point something pounds. So it's about as much as my other sleeping pad weighed, but this one is actually a little bit longer, which I like, and I get a lot more basically lift off the ground whenever I'm sleeping at night. So anyway, let's see how many breaths it takes to pump this thing up.
I don't cry when it rains no more, or I get dirt on my shoes.
All right, so that took me probably 20 to 21 breaths. I lost count on one of them, so I'm assuming 20 to 21 breaths or so. It's really not that bad though, for as much, lift that you're actually going to get off the ground. And I think the R value on this is about 4.3. One of the other things that I do like, because I had I think it was the Neo Air X Lite, which was super loud, but it had the old valve system, so this is actually the new valve system. And so the good thing is, if you need to blow it up, you just unscrew that, and then once you have it where you're at, but then it comes with this wing valve system. You can kind of see the arrows on here, so basically you just twist this right here a little bit. So you twist it, and then you just open it. Oh, heard the air coming out, and that'll deflate it pretty quickly. So that's one plus on that one. So yeah, I'll give it a sleep tonight and let you know how I like it. All right, guys. One of the other things that I did want to review this weekend is a new sleeping bag, a budget sleeping bag. And this is actually a down bag that I bought for my son. And I wanted to try, something that was sub $100. So I bought this one for my son. He's only 8 years old, but Daddy took it this time. So I usually camp with a Big Agnes Lost Ranger 15, but I wanted to see if there was cheaper options out there, that are still pretty much comparable to what I was using. So this is made by, I think it's called Ubon, and I'll put a link below in the description, but it's Ubon. I think I bought it for like 89 or 90 bucks, something like that on Amazon. So I'm gonna try it out tonight. It is a 650 filled down with cluster loft, but I don't know what that means. So I'm gonna try it. It's a 15-degree bag, or they said the extreme limit is 15 degrees, but it's a 32-degree bag comfort limit is what it says. So it seems pretty nice, and it seems like it'll keep me pretty warm, kept my son warm. So I'm gonna try it tonight on this trip, and I think it's gonna get down to 38 degrees tonight. So I'm gonna try this one, but it looks like a pretty decent bag for a budget down bag. Well, I was looking so hard for the campsite that I forgot to look for where the closest thing of water was. So I am now backtracking because I did see a lot of water on the way, but I just don't remember how far back it was. So wish me luck. Gotta go find some hydration. Well, I'm having to backtrack further than I thought to find sufficient water. So I'm gonna keep on trucking. I'm assuming it's probably about a mile back. So if you ever go from trailhead 3 back towards, I guess, number 2, you get water about a mile before camp. Just FYI. Well, the first little area that I went to, the water was coming out of my filter, kind of this like murky green. And it's a brand new filter, so I'm hoping that my filter isn't bad or defective. So I'm gonna hike down a little bit further see if I can find some clearer water. And if I can't, then it looks like I'm boiling tonight. So hopefully I can find something clearer. Well, it's looking like pretty much all of this is murky. Ugh. But at least it's flowing a little bit. All right, on my way back to camp, about a mile back to camp. I got water. It's green, but it's water. So I'm gonna get back, start the boiling process, eat a little bit of lunch, hang out the rest of the day. That's why we do this, right? All right, I'm back from getting water. Let's boil this stuff. All right, guys, well, it was a pretty cold night outside, and actually my sleeping bag did really good. You know, just for it being a budget sleeping bag, I mean, it kept me warm and toasty all night. I was really surprised that I could get that much warmth out of a budget sleeping bag like that. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna head back to the truck this morning. Like I said, whenever I woke up, it was 32 degrees. I made sure to check it. And sleeping bag did great. So anyway, guys, I'll be giving you guys the reviews of the tent, the sleeping bag, and the sleeping mat whenever I get back, and we'll see you then. Hey guys, I'm back home from my camping trip. That was actually my first time going out solo, hiking and camping. So I actually had a really good time by myself. So I definitely recommend, going camping by yourself, but make sure that you leave somebody some itinerary, for safety, just in case, they don't hear from you. Let people know where you're going if you're going by yourself. I did that with my wife right before I left, let her know where I was going, and also a plan B in case I wasn't there. So that's number one. So as far as reviewing the tent, it was very lightweight, it was compact, easy to set up, and it was a very simple design. There is no inner and outer. So basically, like on my Half Dome 2 tent, you had your inner, where you put up all your poles and your bug net, and then you had your outer, which is basically your rain fly. So it basically comes in two pieces with the poles. Whereas the Zpacks Duplex, it's just one unit. So it is a single wall tent. But it was really easy to set up. I like that I didn't have to basically set up my inner and then my outer. It sets up very quickly with only 2 trekking poles. And on that, I dropped like 4 pounds going from my Half Dome 2 Plus to my Z-Pack. So I think the Z-Pack is a win. So the only con that I didn't really like about the Z-Pack tent, or the duplex, was how expensive it was. I think I paid like $250 for my REI tent, but then I paid $600 for the Z-Pack's tent. But if you're trying to drop several pounds, but you're also looking for a lot of room, then the Z-Pack's Duplex, I think, outweighs that REI Half Dome 2 Plus. All right, guys, now let's talk about the Thermarest Neo Air. One of the things that I liked, but I actually bought it this way, was actually how long it was. So you have your regular length, and then you have your long length. So I went ahead and bought the long one just because one of my pet peeves whenever I'm camping is my feet would always fall off the edge of my old one. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and buy the long one because that's the one that would work best for me. My feet never fell off. My feet did fall off to the side one time, but that's just because I sleep a little wonky and crazy sometimes. But I'm gonna call that one a win. And it's also, I didn't really notice that it was very noisy. I know compared to the Thermarest Neo X Lite, That one was very noisy. That thing was like sleeping on parchment paper or aluminum foil. Just every time you moved, it was probably waking up the person next to me or the person 3 tenths down. So as far as noise, this one was a little bit quieter than the Neo X Lite. The other thing that I liked is that it deflated very easily. I've had some pads where, you know, people, or I've complained where they, you know, the air doesn't, you know, completely go out, whereas like on this one, because of that new wing valve, it deflates very easily, and you know, you can roll all of the air out of it. The only thing that I didn't like, and this might have been because of the combination of my sleeping bag, it was a little slick. I did find myself a little crooked on there every once in a while, whereas like my, well, I'll leave that to the sleeping bag review. But anyway, it was a little slick, but I'm gonna take this one as a win versus my old Thermarest. It was a little bit quieter, it's a lot longer, it's a little bit wider. So I really did like the Thermarest Neo Air. I would definitely recommend it. All right, guys, moving on to the sleeping bag. I bought the Ubon 650 filled down with Cluster Loft down bag for my son, but I was just like, you know what? He didn't want to go this time. I'm gonna go ahead and take this budget sleeping bag that I bought for about 90 bucks on Amazon with me on this next trip. So one of the things that I really loved about the bag is that it compacted really nice. It does come with a little compression sack with it, but whenever I go backpacking, I never really take a compression sack. I typically just shove it into the bottom of my backpack, so that way, instead of it being just this big bulky thing, it can kind of spread out and I can shove things down on top of it. But it does come with a little compression sack that's, you know, really nice if you like that type of thing. Number two is how inexpensive it was. It was only 90 bucks or 94 bucks or something like that online on Amazon, whereas like my Big Agnes was about $250. So that was really good. It was very warm. I was surprised on how warm it was compared to the Big Agnes. I actually might take that Ubon on my next hiking trip or my next camping trip versus the Big Agnes. I really liked how warm it was. And number two, or I guess number three, or number four, I forgot what number I'm on, but the zipper never got stuck. I know with some sleeping bags, you know, you're zipping it and all that kind of stuff, and sometimes, you know, it snags and it takes you a few seconds to kind of get it out. It never got stuck. And so for 90 bucks versus 250 bucks, I might take the Ubon all day long versus the Big Agnes. The only con that I didn't like about the Ubon is it didn't have a pocket on the bottom to slip your sleeping mat in. So that's the only plus side of the Big Agnes that I liked, you know, of the Big Agnes. So that way, you know, I wasn't slipping and sliding all over the place because the Ubon was a little slick on top of the sleeping mat. So I don't know, guys. I mean, some people are very brand loyal. I'm not so much. I'm gonna do what works best for me. So I don't know, if you're looking for a budget sleeping bag, then the Ubon is the way to go. If not, you know, and you want to stick to the bigger brand names, and you know, you want a pocket on the bottom, then go with the Big Agnes Lost Ranger 15. But I'm happy with both. I'm happier with the Ubon because it's cheaper, but either way, I'm gonna stay warm in the woods. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.